Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thanks so much for welcoming us along to this podcast. Hey, you're back. You've been away.
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me back.
You've been away for a little while, even though in podcasting terms only for one episode, but you've been away for, what, a month?
Yeah, I have gotten married.
Woo!
He did it. He did it.
Can't believe it.
They said it couldn't be done.
Yeah.
No confirmation on any sort of after hours activities.
And Dave, that's not us asking, okay?
No.
We don't want to know.
We don't want to know.
He keeps trying to tell us, and we say, David, enough of that.
But,
First thing Jess messaged me.
Dave's a very honest man, and he is still wearing the V badge, so we can make assumptions based on that.
Yeah, I hope you didn't get married to end the virgin jokes, because that has absolutely, that's not going to happen.
Well, it's three of us here and only one of us is married, so only one of us has had sex. So, thank you so much. And I've also, I've been on a honeymoon. I went to Gay Paris.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had a great time.
So
Beautiful
cool.
Time. Brought me back a magnet, so you are welcome back to the podcast.
Yes, that's right.
That was your entry requirement.
Beautiful. Caught up with a few of our previous episode topics.
Did you?
Saw the Mona Lisa.
Oh, yep.
Went up the Eiffel Tower.
You went up it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope you got married first.
And not to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Dave, can you
She's
confirm or
taken.
deny that you are married to the Eiffel Tower?
She's taken. I tried.
Did you meet Terrare? Was he French?
Yeah, he was French.
Yeah, well, I ate about as much food as that guy did, so
But you spread it out over, a couple of weeks. He would do that for breakfast.
do it in the city. Yeah.
Well,
it's so
yes.
cool you travelled overseas.
Yeah.
They said it couldn't be done.
I know. First marriage, now overseas travel. Wow.
But yeah,
anything's possible
I
these
know.
days.
a bucks, a wedding, and a couple of weeks honeymoon. You squeeze all that into the week off you had from the podcast. It was an amazing effort.
Yeah,
Been a big week.
We're really proud of you. And welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much. Great to be back. I heard your episode with Cass Page last week with Hedy Lamar as the topic. And if you haven't heard that one, what are you doing, people? It was great.
It's a good story, and like a name that was, I think, like Cass said, it's right in the back of the brain. It's vaguely familiar, but it's one that we should know.
Yeah, and this will help people if you're thinking Hedy Lamar. Her full name is Hedwig.
That's right.
That might help ring a few bells.
Yeah. If you're like, oh, Hedwig Lamar, yes.
Yes. Dave, you know what you do best. It's so good to have you back here to help us plug some live shows.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
sucked at it.
I heard you have your best go at it last week, and then you'd forgotten the date, the time, the
Yeah.
venue. So,
In a charming way.
Yeah, we're adorable.
hey everyone, none of the charm and all of the business right here. We are doing 4 podcasts next month, live in Melbourne at the European Beer Cafe. We've done these the last few years. It's a great venue, great time, and we're doing them on Sundays at 8:45 p.m.
Prime time.
Prime time,
Yeah.
April 3rd.
When I was a kid, that's when they'd play the latest released blockbuster movies from 2 or 3 years earlier.
Yes. And you'd be like, ooh, here we
wow.
go.
Wow, I haven't seen this yet. But you haven't seen this yet, which is our live shows April 3rd, April 10, April 17, April 24. Season passes are available where you get to see all 4 shows for the price of just 3.
Jeez, that's good value.
That's
Bloody
good
hell,
value.
that's good value.
And if you're a Patreon supporter, you get an extra 20% off as well. So, whoa. So that's great value. Those tickets are on sale now at dogoonpod.com. You can find the ticket link as well as the ticket link to our 3 live quiz shows. Do Go On, the quiz show at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. And those are on Monday nights at 9 p.m, April 4, 11 and 18. So we are doing 7 live shows next month. Please come to them all.
Come to them all. We'll give you a little prize if you come to them all.
Oh, okay. How about we give you a Do Go On badge if you come to them all?
Okay, we don't. Oh, yeah, we have badges.
Yeah.
I was like, Dave, we don't have time to get badges, mate. We have badges.
I'll give you my V badge if you come to them all.
Oh, Dave. No.
I meant the actual badge.
You're a married
Oh,
man.
my God.
So, yeah, and the quiz show, basically we pick a topic and then I quiz Matt and Jess and 2 guests each week about the topic. So it's kind of like a report, but there's points involved.
Yeah.
That's a report only better. It's
Yeah.
competitive.
Exactly.
Which is what me and Jess love.
You guys
We
can-
love to battle it
You
out.
can win the report.
And I'm also doing a show the second half of the festival called Hubba Hubba. Honk
Honk.
Hubba Hubba Ring a Ding Ding
Yep.
with Alistair Tremblay Birchall, I'm not on Monday nights. Angus Gordon's on Monday nights because I'm doing the quiz show. But it's at the Bard's Apothecary. I think this is the first time I've known the name of the venue.
And you still mispronounced it.
Which bit?
It's
All of it?
apothecary.
Apothecary. Is it Bard though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bard's Apothecary.
Apothecary.
Apothecary. I'm realizing that playing Wordle when I think I've spelt a word correctly and I've put the word anyway. So
What are they? Only 5 letters?
there's only 5 letters,
still
and I'm still
somehow
Mate,
muddling
you're
it.
trying to put in apothecary.
This is Wordle. I'm playing Muddle, and it's a comedy show. It should be a bit of fun.
That'd be great.
I'd love to see you there.
I mean, you and Al, 2 comedians I love so dearly as people and as performers.
That's so nice of you to
The
say.
show title, the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And I've listened to the Beatles.
Whoa!
And the poster is incredible as well. There should be awards for best show title and best poster.
Yeah,
And you would win both this year.
that'd be so
Absolutely.
good.
Content of the show, who cares? It's great. Got a great name, got a great poster.
Yeah, content of the show is the only thing I'm responsible for. So
So you're the only one who cares about it.
yeah, that's right.
No one else cares.
No.
That's right. You get the people to do the poster who know what they're doing. You
Yeah.
get people to name it who know what they're doing.
And the rest just falls into place.
Yeah, you just have a bloody go.
Yeah.
And how many shows are you doing? Like 10 or something?
Something like 10.
So
I think.
if you go to all 10 of Matt's shows, we'll give you a second badge.
Yeah,
How about that?
I think that's a good deal. Yeah, but Dave, you've been away for a little while. I'd love to hear what you think our show is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Refresh your own memory.
Right. Well, as if I recall from last week's episode, listening back, it's about spoof. That's what the
Yeah,
show's
it was a lot of spoof chat. Maybe too much, some would argue. Not
Well-
me.
That was Cass, so that's why we
Fucking
didn't
hell.
invite her back this week.
So I was sitting at my desk and editing that episode and started cackling laughing.
Really?
Like it really caught me off guard even though I was there and I was laughing my head off. It was very funny.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'd love for someone to walk in and see you laughing and they say, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
Oh, just me. All right, Dave can't do it. I'll do it. It's not about spoof. Well, sometimes it is, but it's about normally an event or a person or a place from history. And one of the 3 of us goes away and researches this topic, comes back to the group with a report, tells it kind of like an old school report, and the other 2 listen politely and don't interrupt and be annoying and go on tangents. And this week, Jess is doing the report, and Jess is going to start her report with a question, as we always do. Jess, what is your question this week?
My question is, who is the youngest recipient of the Ashoka Chakra Award, India's highest peacetime gallantry?
Gandhi.
It's not.
Gandhi Jr.
It's not.
Gandhi Senior?
I've made this a difficult
That's
question.
quite specific. So,
It's a very specific question.
so it's not a...
Sachin Tendulkar.
No, it's not.
Oh, we're just going to be naming Indian people we know now, aren't we? Should we ask what the answer is?
Yeah.
Ravi Shankar.
It's not Ravi Shankar. It is a young woman by the name of Neerja Banut. And this report is about 2 things. It's about a devastating event and the brave young woman who was involved.
Awesome.
Okay. And what was the award is for?
It's their highest peacetime gallantry award. It's essentially for like bravery or yeah.
Yeah, the kind of thing you could see me winning.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might get in contact with the organisers to find out why I haven't.
Are you going to get...
Well, have you conducted any bravery in India?
Not in India.
Yeah. Well, then that's probably you've done it for India.
I've been brave
Every
for
time he
India.
saved a kid
Yeah.
from walking onto the street, he said for India.
Yeah.
But you haven't done it in India, and I think
It's got to be in India.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
might
4.
pop over.
Yeah, pop over, do some
I
bravery.
might go do some bravery over there.
What kind of bravery are you gonna do?
Oh, stop a kid walking into traffic.
Yeah.
Is one that I've heard of.
Yep.
The list goes on, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get some tips from this week's episode.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I don't know if you want to from this one. So it's a pretty wild story. It's been suggested by a couple of people. Luke Holhouse and Garrett Coates have suggested this topic. And it's essentially centered around this young woman, Neerja Banut. She's the, as I said, youngest recipient of India's highest peacetime gallantry, the Ashoka Chakra Award, as well as several other accolades from governments of Pakistan and the United States.
Matt, have you got those ones?
Yeah, I think I've collected most of those.
You've got high accolades from Pakistan and the US.
Yep.
Where else have you got accolades from?
Ivory Coast.
Yep.
Wow. You also just won Best Show title, apparently, in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival from
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah. That's
Best show
right.
title for Bravery.
Bravest show title. Imagine bravest effort.
Oh, that would suck. That would hurt so bad, wouldn't it?
Hey, you had to go.
Hey. And it was ambitious. Nobody wanted to see what you were putting out there,
Yeah.
but you did it anyway.
You didn't care that you failed.
Yeah. And that's so brave.
That's brave. So brave.
So Neerja was born in India in September of 1963. She grew up in Mumbai, and it was while she was attending St. Xavier's College that she was spotted one day by a modelling agent. She had quite a successful modelling career, and in 1985, when she was 22, she entered an arranged marriage, as was pretty standard, pretty custom at the time. And as usual, her husband was sort of chosen by her family. But soon she discovered her husband was pretty abusive, he was mean, and in a real tradition-shirking move, she divorced him after 2 months, returning home to her parents. It also happened that in 1985, Pan American World Airways decided to hire an all-Indian cabin crew for its Frankfurt to India route. So any sort of flights going from India, they would usually sort of stop, in Frankfurt and then on to the US. So Neerja applied and she was successful.
I do not understand geography.
Yeah.
Is that in a somewhat straight line?
Who are
India.
you looking at?
All
How
right,
dare
Dave,
you look at me as you ask that
India to
question?
Frankfurt to the US.
Yeah, you go up into Europe, refuel for a bit, then go
Right.
across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Easy.
double checking.
Easy peasy.
Sometimes it's braver to tell you people when you don't know something.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I read it
That's brave.
and I
Jess.
believed it.
Yeah, that's brave.
Thank you.
To blindly believe
Yeah.
is brave.
And I do it so often. I read something, I see a TikTok, and I go, well, that must be true. And that must be the only way you can do things.
Yeah.
And there must be no wiggle room in that thing that person is saying. So I guess I can't eat carbs ever again.
They said it very confidently.
They said if I just do this particular combination of things on a stair machine at the gym, I'll have abs.
Oh my God.
That says a lot about my algorithm.
I got to watch that corner of
Is
TikTok.
yours are mostly stair machine videos?
Stair machine, what I eat in a day videos where people just tell you what they eat in a day.
Really?
I don't care.
And is it like interesting, like they've eaten like a fucked up amount of food?
No, it's usually like they haven't eaten enough.
Oh,
Like I'm watching that going, you haven't eaten enough today. But they're going, see you tomorrow. And I'm like, whoa, that's bad. You're not looking after your body.
I was thinking it was going to be like The Rock on a cheat day or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow,
Wow, The Rock.
6,000 pancakes.
No, it's always a woman who lives in an uninteresting city in the US and takes lots of videos of herself in activewear and eats acai bowls.
Wow, what's the least interesting US city to you? What's the most boring one?
I don't know. Somewhere in Utah or something. I don't know.
Cop that Utah.
It's just funny.
Oh, the Beehive State. Come on.
Are you on TikTok now, Matt?
No, I'm on Google Maps.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you look at it. India?
I just want to picture it.
Looking at Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, can't find a way. Well, Google Maps hasn't heard of planes.
Come on. Yeah, Google Maps isn't great when you're like,
I just
how
wanna
long would
see
it take me to fly from here to here? And it's like, you can't get from that place to that place. No, you can.
You can't, but you could take an Ola or a Diddy ride.
Yeah, it's always like,
They'll only cost you 8,000
Do you-
euros.
did you want me to call you a Diddy? No, Google.
No.
Figure out what a plane is, you idiot. So anyway, she's got the job with Pan Am. So she goes to Miami, Florida for training.
Love it.
Returns from Florida, not just with training as a flight attendant, but as a head purser, which is essentially like she'd be senior flight attendant. She's in charge, acting as head of the cabin crew.
Nice.
So she got to work, working flights between Mumbai and other parts of the world, and continued her modelling career alongside her job at Pan Am. Sounds bloody delightful, doesn't
Well,
it?
she's a triple threat. She's a steward, she's the head steward, and she's a model.
And a divorcee.
Yeah,
Quadruple threat.
she can do it all. So
Dave, you're the closest one of us through to being a divorcee.
You're 2 steps away. I'm only 1 step away.
at any given time, I am 2 steps away from being a divorcee.
Imagine that. One step from being a hunky divorcee.
Oh, yeah. That's a rebrand I'm hoping to avoid.
Oh, okay. You want to stay married, do you?
Yeah, so far it's
Bloody
great.
hell.
So far it's great. You get to go to Paris.
He loves
that's
being
true.
a hunky husband.
Loves being a hunky hub. This report's about to get quite bad.
Okay.
Bad or dark?
Dark.
Okay.
Not bad.
Poorly written.
As in badly researched, poorly written.
Poorly written.
Haven't proofread this.
Yeah. So just the,
Great. So let's remember the good times.
good times. Where she's left a bad man. She's got a great career. She's young. She's modeling. She's a flight attendant. She's having a great time.
Great.
But that brings us to the main event of this report. So Pan Am Flight 73 was a flight from Bombay, India to New York with scheduled stops in Karachi in Pakistan and Frankfurt, Germany.
Jeez, I love Frankfurt.
They love it. Neerja was a senior flight purser on September 5th, 1986, when Pan Am Flight 73 landed in Karachi at 4:30 a.m., carrying 403 passengers, an American flight crew, and 13 Indian flight attendants. 109 of the passengers disembarked at Karachi, and so, not everybody's... barely anybody's doing that full trip. People are stopping in Karachi. There's a bunch of English people who were having a holiday in India that are stopping in Frankfurt and then going to London from there.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that's why there's quite a few stops.
That makes sense.
But the crew, or I think the flight attendants do... Surely they can't do all of that. There must be swaps at different times. But yeah, that's sort of where the plane goes anyway, with different crews. So yeah, about 100 people get off, and this is the thing, right? There's quite a few resources about this, but a lot of them have the exact same wording as each other. So one of them was first, and others have sort of written articles based off that article. Some of the numbers change a fair bit in terms of how many people were on board, etc. So I've done my best to try and get it as accurate as possible, but
Did you just add them all together, get an average for each of the numbers? Is that what you did?
Oh, that's good.
You added them all together. You didn't get the average though, did you?
I just added them all together.
So there were 9,000 people on this flight.
Yeah, is that not right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 100 people get off at Karachi, and a fresh busload of passengers are making their way across the tarmac to board the plane around 6 a.m. At the same time, however, two Pakistan Airport Security Force officers drove quickly towards the aircraft, lights and sirens blaring. Something's going on.
Whoa.
As the two men rushed up the ramp onto the plane, it quickly became clear that they were not security officers, but in fact, hijackers.
Oh, no. So they've hijacked a security car on the way there.
It's not even... I don't even think they hijacked a security car. I think they made a car look like...
Right.
The security cars looked,
So
and
the
they got through a
siren
checkpoint.
Siren was going, "Aroo!"
Ba, 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 ba.
It had a homemade spoiler on the back.
And a lightning bolt up the side.
Yeah.
And they got through the security checkpoint and went, hey.
It was just a cardboard thing. Their legs are coming out the bottom, straps over the side. Brum brum.
Toot toot, let us in. And the other security guards said, yeah, I see nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, great.
This makes sense to me. They were joined by two other men, one of whom had a briefcase full of grenades, which is not what you want to have in a briefcase.
Wow.
No.
What sort of business is he conducting?
Yeah.
Is he an arms dealer?
Should be full of
Every
pens.
time I see a man with a briefcase, which you don't see as much anymore, I feel.
I saw one on the plane when I was going overseas, and I thought to myself, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't see him anymore.
Just loaded up the briefcase up top.
My dad always had took a briefcase to work every single day. Come home with his briefcase. The sound of opening a briefcase, it's... Yeah.
My dad was a teacher and he had a briefcase.
Really?
It was like a brown leather briefcase.
Yeah.
Click.
You don't see him that much
And I
anymore.
just assumed that's what I was going to do as an adult. Have a briefcase.
Yeah.
Go off to work.
Do you think we don't...
Whatever that what means.
Do you think we don't see him as much anymore because, everything's on your phone or on a computer?
Yeah. And bags. They just made more comfortable bags.
Yeah, like a satchel
You can
or a backpack.
Put things in a backpack.
Yeah, like you
in
can
a
Yeah.
folder.
grenades in a backpack.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get a laptop bag and you're good to go. You don't need your whole briefcase.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad for briefcases,
I
isn't
know.
it?
The briefcase
Yeah.
industry, no one talks about
The
it.
attaché.
went the way of the horse and cart.
But I imagine every time I see a briefcase, I imagine there's like 3 pieces of paper in there, not a bunch of grenades. You know, I'm like, there's a pen. There's 3 pieces. You still laughing about horse and cart?
It was because I was listening to last week's episode on the drive here, and Matt referenced a horse and cart then as well.
They're always on my mind.
He's obsessed.
Whenever people talk, I'm always thinking about, cars, they're great, aren't they? But let's just spare a moment for the horse and cart
That's
industry.
right. He said the kids won't learn about horse and carts.
Yeah, that's right. Like, why do they bother teaching handwriting these days? You don't bother teaching about the horse and cart industry anymore.
They don't teach a kid how to
That's good.
attach a horse to a cart. So anyway, now there's
So four men?
4, yes. So the two original ones wearing the security outfits were brandishing guns, firing shots into the air.
Oh gosh.
Are they Texan cowboys?
It's a bit odd. Gunfire struck and killed 2 Kuwait Airlines staff members working on an aircraft nearby. And flight attendants were forced to close the plane door, but luckily, Neerja was out of sight of the hijackers and relayed the hijack code to the cockpit crew, alerting them to the situation.
The hijack code.
Yeah, there's like a code that she could... Because it's probably like, especially if you're in front of the hijackers and they're saying, get the crew out here, you can't be like,
right,
hey, some hijackers here.
Was it in Pick Latin or something?
Yeah, maybe. Hijacker, hey.
Well, it's like some sort of code like, oh, would you like some cheese and bickies?
Yeah. What if
yes. How many? 4 with machine guns.
4 cheese and bickies with machine guns and some grenades.
Grenades, yes.
Would you like a bag of grenades on the... I mean, it'd be
Peanuts?
cracked pepper. So would you like cracked pepper on the cheese? Oh, it's hand grenades.
Hand grenades on the cheese.
It's just like this really elaborate... They've got a menu with the codes.
Honestly, it was probably like a code brown or something, you know?
Salmon and cucumber. Oh no, rocket launcher. Oh no.
How do you actually offer the captain lunch then?
You can't.
Foot-long baguette. Oh,
Oh,
dear
no.
me.
Can I get you a tea or coffee? Oh, God.
Oh no. So
Call
Hold
my
the
wife.
sugar.
So just to recap, so she's outside of like they've closed the doors so the hijackers can't get in.
No, the hijackers are in and they've said close the doors.
Okay, gotcha.
So that they're all sort of... Because they want to be on the plane and the plane take off and off we go. So the hijackers are on and they've, to I guess sort of protect themselves from any actual security guards outside being able to shoot at them or whatever. So they're all inside the plane and luckily they haven't spotted her yet. So she's able to get to an intercom and tell the cockpit what's happening. And what that means is...
They just hit the ejector seat.
Well...
Leave everyone to behind.
You're not far off.
Oh, no.
It's not ejector seat, but the pilot, co-pilot and flight engineer were able to evacuate the aircraft out of an emergency hatch overhead, which one of the flight attendants, Sunshine Vaswala, was instructed by one of the hijackers to take them to the captain. And once they entered the cockpit, she said, I noticed immediately that the escape device in the cockpit had been deployed. I noticed that the evacuation hatch on the ceiling of the cockpit was open, but I pretended not to. I wanted to give the pilots time to escape in case they were still in the process of climbing down the ropes outside the plane.
That's badass.
So is she just like looking around the cockpit, like opening stuff, thinking, maybe they're in here. Maybe this drawer? No.
Oh.
Don't know.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you.
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, so they're like, I mean, they're going, we leave, and then they can't force us to fly the plane.
Exactly right.
That's not like they're cowardly leaving.
No.
They're doing that to stop everyone on the plane from being flown somewhere dangerous, whatever.
Exactly right. And so and some people criticise the pilots for leaving the plane, but Sunshine says, I was relieved when I saw the pilots were gone, as we were all safer on the ground than we would be in the air. And in any case, at least the 3 pilots were safe. 3 lives would be saved. So, it immobilises the plane. They can't go anywhere. And that was the whole plan, which I'll get to. But it's another flight attendant added, the pilots evacuating the airplane meant that we were not at the mercy of the terrorists who could have instructed the plane to be flown into a building or could have been blown up in mid-flight. So it was better that they were on the ground. So it was good that the pilots got out.
Yeah. What year are we talking?
86.
86. A good year. Oh, generally speaking.
Speaking.
For music.
Oh, yeah, fantastic
There's some great
for
pop
music.
hits that year. Probably. Sure Madonna was doing something about that time.
Wham.
I was going to say
Wham would have
Wham!
We just get each other.
I reckon Molly Ringwald would have been top of the box office somewhere.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club would have been around that time.
Yeah, for sure. Heaps of good stuff on the go.
Saints were having a tough year in the footy.
Oof.
Were
the
they?
80s, that was a dark decade.
Not
for
a
the
good year
Saints.
for Saints.
Dark
No.
decade, really.
Yeah, I think we've won 5 or 6 wooden spoons maybe that decade.
Yeah, I think you're going to say 5 or 6 games.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
same.
it's probably about the same. So yeah, with the escape of the pilots, the planes are mobilised, like we're saying. Didn't take long for the hijackers to realise the flight crew were gone, and so they would be forced to negotiate with officials in order to get a new flight crew into the plane to fly it.
Oh, they've got to conduct interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, how
Oh,
awkward.
God. We were
Send
just
them
going
out.
to go with the guys who were left here, but all right.
Right, send them out. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
Why should we pick you?
It's not just about qualifications. It's more about getting someone with the right vibe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
You know, it's so much of that sort of job interview process is actually about culture fit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then maybe you should ask me questions. Treat it
Yeah.
like you're interviewing me as well.
Exactly right.
We're a
Interviewing me as a
tight-knit
boss.
group. We just
Yeah.
want to make sure you're the right fit.
I'm a pretty progressive boss. I actually have references of my own of people who have worked for me. If you wanted to have a chat to
Yeah,
them.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's such a funny thing. It's like, I'm very progressive. Here's some people saying nice things about me.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so progressive of you.
I mean, that's your resume anyway, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
that's right.
it's all people who are going to say nice things.
Here are some previous hijackers I've worked with. They said I was very cool and calm. I did what they said.
Yep. I was, I followed orders calmly.
Who here knows how to fly a plane? I reckon that'd be a big question they would have been asked.
Yeah, just in case.
Someone puts their hand up and their wife just slaps it down.
Yeah.
No.
Shut up, Jerry. You've played a flight simulator.
Yeah, that is not true.
It was a birthday present. You are not a pilot. Yeah, you know how, like, if there's a medical emergency on a plane, they're like, is there a doctor?
Oh, I've had that before.
Have you?
Yeah, so it's in the middle of the night, flying
Really?
from Melbourne to Europe a few years ago, and we get like everyone's asleep, and then it's ladies and gentlemen, we're just wondering if there is any doctors on board.
Oh
any
my
doctors
God.
on, and you don't want to hear it. You're thinking, oh my God.
No.
And then about 20 minutes later, ladies and gentlemen, just letting you know, we have to make an unscheduled stop, an emergency landing in Colombo in Sri Lanka, because that was basically the closest airport. And someone had to be taken off because they were having heart issues.
Oh, my God.
And as they're being taken off, I'm looking away. You don't want to,
Yeah.
look at that. And someone gets their phone out, starts filming the person
you
being
piece of
loaded
shit.
into an ambulance. Absolutely wild.
Always
stuff.
TikToking.
Yeah, you always got to be TikToking. But so, do you think there was a doctor, or there's always like the
I think-
surely in a plane where you've got hundreds of people, you're
Yep.
going to have a nurse,
Or a doctor,
doctor.
Of media. Or
yeah,
Yeah,
a
that's right.
philosophy doctor.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh,
So is there
medical doctor.
Oh,
I've asked my chiropractor about that. I was like, do you ever, if people say Mr. Nelson, do you correct them and say doctor? And he goes, fuck no, because it'll be when I'm on a plane and they're like, oh, Dr. Nelson, we have a medical emergency. He's like, I know CPR
Right.
or to adjust their
I
spine.
could crack their back.
Yeah.
crack in the back. So I'm not sure. And the sad thing is, because you don't know that person,
Yeah.
I never know what happened to them.
I know.
Fingers crossed that it was all good, but
Yeah, that's a scary thing to hear.
yeah, you hear it and you go, oh,
You're
no.
not following the right people on social media. There would be multiple. It's a funny instinct to be like, that person's in dire trouble. This could be good
That's
content.
really good
Yeah.
content. Yeah.
Weird.
People
here I am.
process
Here I am.
feelings in a lot of different ways.
Here I am dining out on the story 6 years later. So we all get content in different ways.
Fair call. Yeah, that is very.
See, but they
Very
were instant.
hypocritical,
You
though.
bide your time, and that's what we appreciate
Yeah, that's
about you.
right.
So the hijackers were part of the Abu Nidal organization, a Palestinian terrorist organization backed by Libya. Their plan was to reroute the flight to Cyprus and Israel in order to free Palestinian prisoners, as well as to revolt against the United States by executing passengers of Western origin.
Okay. That is scary shit.
Yeah, it's a bit full on. So they moved the first class and business class passengers back to the middle of the plane, brought the
Oh,
people from the back forward.
no.
I know.
Back into economy.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh.
I paid for this flight.
Kill me now.
I haven't even had my brekkie.
I'm not going back there. Nothing you can do will make me go back there with
No.
those poor people. And then did you say the people at the back got brought to the front?
Yeah, everybody's just sort of, it's so they're all in one area.
Oh, okay. I thought that they were liberating the poor.
Because it's like a 737, so they've brought everybody into one section.
Yeah.
Which means there's not enough seats for people, so people are sitting on the floors, in the galleys, by the doors.
I was in a flatbed minutes ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the floor.
okay, I'll move, but can I still have my mimosa?
Yeah, please. Keep them coming.
I don't know how to start my day. And so, yeah, it just kind of, it became...
Mimosa's code for something real bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Everyone shudders.
Oh. So it becomes a bit of this stalemate where they're kind of negotiating with people on the ground, and this all happened at like 6 a.m. by the way.
6 a.m.
Yeah, and by 10 a.m. one of the hijackers ordered 29-year-old Rajesh Kumar, who was a Kenyan-born Indian who had recently been naturalized as an American. They ordered him to come to the front of the aircraft. He was then forced to kneel at the front doorway of the aircraft with his hands behind his head.
Oh.
The hijackers, who were negotiating with officials, in particular Viraf Daroga, the head of Pan Am's Pakistan operation, stating that if the crew was not sent on the plane within 30 minutes, then Kumar would be shot.
Oh, no.
Because he was a naturalized American. He's an American.
How'd they
They're
know?
targeting Americans. No idea. I don't know.
Interesting to note that the lead person on the ground negotiating
Was the head of Pan Am's Pakistan operation.
So
I know.
not like a police officer
Yeah,
or
that's
anyone
interesting.
representing the government or anything like that. It is just someone
From Pan Am.
from Pan Am. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was a bit. I'm sure there must have been officials there, and I think like the part of the military was sort of sent out. But it's a really delicate sort of hostage situation when you've got a plane full of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, they couldn't exactly just like barge in. But it is interesting. I know that like head of Pan Am is there. So they said 30 minutes. You got to get us a flight crew, or we'll shoot this guy. But shortly after, the hijackers became impatient and shot Kumar point blank, and then threw him out of the plane door onto a ramp below. Pakistani personnel on the ramp reported that Kumar was still breathing when he was placed in an ambulance, but he was pronounced dead on the way to the hospital in Karachi. So just awful. Horrendous. And so Neerja and 2 other flight attendants were ordered to begin collecting the passports of every passenger on board. Now, they feared for the safety of their 44 American passengers on board, so they hid the American passports under seats, in the galley, in their clothing, and down rubbish chutes. They just took all the American ones and hid them.
Wow.
To protect them, which is pretty, like, if you're caught doing that as well, you're risking your own life in doing that. But they're like, no, we've got to protect them. So the hijackers are then unable to find Americans because they don't know who's who. So they turned to the British, essentially. There's a man named Michael John Thexton was returning home to England after spending a holiday in Pakistan, and he was asked to come to the front of the plane, where one of the hijackers, Safarini, asked Thexton if he was a soldier and if he had a gun, and Thexton replied no. He asked Thexton if he was married and talked to him about how he didn't like all this violence and killing, and said that Americans and Israelis had taken over his country and left him unable to lead a proper life. And eventually Thexton's just taken back to his seat. Very kind of strange behaviour.
Oh, okay.
So they're like taking one guy and shooting him on the spot, having a chat with another, and that's somehow more unnerving than if they were just consistently violent, because it means they're unpredictable.
Totally. And that would happen in an action movie too, with like the head bad guy is so scary and unpredictable, nice to some people, and then you think he's going to kill someone else, and he goes, hey, one more thing. Do you want a can of Coke?
Yeah, just building the tension.
Yeah.
And then they okay, and let them go. But
That's exactly. They asked Thexton, "Do you want a glass of water or something?"
Oh man, because you're thinking, oh no, are you married? You'd be thinking, fuck, they're going to kill me. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
So strange. From an article from the BBC, it says, over the next few hours on the upper deck, Safarini let his guard down several times, Sunshine says. He joked and flirted, invited her to go with him to Cyprus, and promised to teach her to swim. Sunshine remained alert. At one point, she looked longingly at the emergency axe in a glass box in the cockpit. Safarini, mid-joke, caught her and immediately pointed a gun at her head. Don't even think about it, he said. So they're just so, like, erratic and inconsistent. It is, like, yeah, really unnerving that he's sort of like, he's flirting with her and he's like, hey, come to Cyprus, I'll teach you to swim. And he's, like, telling jokes and then threatening her, and it's very strange and pretty wild. At one point, the hijackers threatened that if a pilot didn't arrive soon, a passenger would be shot every 15 minutes. I don't believe that did happen, but it was more of that erratic, unpredictable behaviour that, would have made it a deeply stressful time. It would be deeply stressful regardless, but it's sort of, you're kind of even more on edge.
Sure.
Neerja and the other flight attendants handed out food and water, trying to keep people as calm as possible as the ordeal continued into the night. Remember, this started about 6 a.m. This entire time, the air conditioning and lights had been on in the plane, and as evening set in, the onboard power supply started to dwindle. The lights got dimmer and the cool air stopped circulating. There was a flight mechanic on board, and he told the hijackers that when the power died, the emergency power would kick in, and it would last about 15 minutes or so before the aircraft would be completely dark. So essentially, they're running out of time.
Right, they're going to need someone to jumpstart the plane.
Yeah, get another plane in, back it up.
Back it up.
Near a hill?
Oh, yeah, rolling start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Are there often hills on runways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's usually a hill at like one end.
Depends on the city. Melbourne's very flat, but, Wellington, I think, is quite hilly.
Yeah. just to get a plane started. At around 9 p.m, the power did run out. Emergency lights came on. This is from a website I found. It's pretty interesting. It's got a heap of sort of different stuff on there. It's called wikipedia.org.
Okay.
It's got all sorts of tidbits and
About aviation.
Mostly aviation, yeah.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's
Sorry,
cool.
almost exclusively aviation.
That's
yeah.
great.
Oh, fantastic.
So from wikipedia.org. It says with
Wikipedia.org.
the plane out of power and sitting in near darkness, a hijacker at the L1 door said a prayer and then aimed to shoot at the explosive belt worn by another hijacker near the door. The intent was to cause an explosion massive enough to kill all passengers and crew on board, as well as themselves. Since the cabin was dark, the hijacker missed, causing only a small detonation. Immediately, the hijackers began shooting their weapons into the cabin at passengers and attempted to throw their grenades. Yet again, the lack of light caused them to not pull pins fully and to create only small explosions. Ultimately, it was the bullets that created the most damage, since each bullet would bounce off aircraft cabin surfaces and create crippling shrapnel.
Wow. So it sounds like that. So one of them's just decided, I've had enough. Let's just start.
Yeah.
Let's end it.
I wonder if it feels like it wasn't really thought through, because what you've raced up to the plane, started shooting your guns, very clearly made yourself obvious hijackers or obvious terrorists.
Yeah.
And then
Which gave the pilots a chance to flee.
Exactly. So then the plane's just on the ground, and you haven't even gotten close to your plan of rerouting it to Cyprus.
Yep.
You're stuck in one place because you were too, brash, whatever. So yeah, maybe I don't know how much of a solid plan was in place here, because it does sort of seem like, well, there's no power, it's dark, which means they don't know what the passengers are doing, and they're outnumbered in a big way by all the passengers. So maybe in the dark now they're vulnerable too.
Right. But then also the guy that's just shot at his mate wearing the bomb, wouldn't you just say to him, hey, pull the
Yeah, if
pull
they
the bomb?
were on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would definitely
clearly not.
explode.
But
Yeah.
it's going to kill all of you, and not even, nowhere near where you wanted to go. Like your mission has completely failed.
Yeah, you guys have gone, no, the mission's over.
Yeah.
Let's kill everyone.
And it's better to kill everyone than to give up, or... I know, a bit of a strange one.
I'm starting to think these guys are acting a bit illogically.
I'm going to give him a little bit more time. What happens next?
Time to decide. In the chaos, flight attendants and passengers scrambled to get the plane doors open, and at least 3 of the doors were opened quite quickly. A couple of the doors were opened manually, which meant the emergency slide didn't deploy, but they're on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's still,
Still a fair jump.
It's a fair drop, but like for quite a few of them, they were able to make the short jump out onto the wing of the plane.
Oh, yep.
Or it was about, I think, a 15 to 20 foot drop to the ground from other doors.
That's significant.
Oh, it's significant.
Yep.
Yeah, but like you'd risk a broken ankle over
Yeah.
a bullet. So people are going for it. An airline ground staff member who was on the plane was able to open the R4 door, which, and I think that was the one that the slide did deploy, which meant a lot of people got out that door.
Great.
So he saved a lot of lives there. Neerja opened one of the airplane doors, and even though she could have been the first one to jump out and flee, she instead started helping the other passengers escape. According to a surviving passenger, she was guiding the passengers to the emergency exit. That is when the terrorists were firing constantly, fearing a commando attack. They saw Neerja relentlessly trying to help 3 unaccompanied children out, and that is when they caught her by the hair and shot her point blank.
Oh.
Details are a little bit murky here because the BBC article written on the 30th anniversary of the attack, Sunshine says that when all the passengers were off the plane, she and some of the crew, not hearing any more gunfire, but not knowing where the gunmen were, went back into the dark plane to look for survivors. And Sunshine said she saw Neerja, who was bleeding heavily but was conscious. Neerja's colleagues said she was still alive when she arrived at Karachi's Jinha hospital. It was chaotic, like a war zone in there. Neerja may still have been alive if she'd been cared for right away, because there was so many people being taken
injuries
there. Absolutely wild. So Neerja did sadly pass away from her injuries, not even 2 days before her 23rd birthday.
Fuck.
And I know it seems like not the most do go on kind of topic when I'm talking about the details of a horrendous terrorist attack, but the fact that this young woman, she's 22, she's died protecting children, she's credited with, because again, some of the resources and some of the other flight attendants take credit for being the one to alert the pilots. They say it wasn't Neerja, it was them. Regardless, all of these people did some amazing things and saved a lot of lives, and Neerja lost her life protecting kids. It's incredible. The Pakistan Army's Special Service Group, the SSG, they were commandos, and there was the Pakistan Rangers as well, were alerted to the situation very early on, and after the chaos of shots being fired and bombs going off, the SSG stormed the plane and seized the only remaining hijacker on board. 3 others were nabbed as they tried to flee the airport.
Oh, so they thought they could get away.
So they kind of got out in the emergency exits as well and tried to run for it.
Yep.
But they were caught. 1 was still on the plane. The 4 hijackers and a 5th accomplice, who was arrested a week later, were convicted in Pakistan in 1988 for their roles in the hijacking and the murders and sentenced to life in prison. According to a CNN report, Safarini, seems like he was kind of the head of it, was handed over to the FBI from a prison in Pakistan in September 2001. He was taken to the United States, where on May 13, 2005, he was sentenced to 160 years in prison, which he's serving.
Wow.
The other 4 hijackers were deported by Pakistani authorities to Palestine in 2008, but were released by Palestinian officials. They remain at large today and are still listed on the FBI's most wanted terrorist page.
Wow.
So 4 of them are just out in the world, which is crazy.
Yeah, pushing towards 40 years later.
Yeah.
And do we know how many people died?
Yeah, I'll get to that. And that's one of the numbers that it's like you get a few different figures.
Sure.
So, and I mentioned at the start that this terrorist group were believed to be backed by Libya, and Libya had been accused of sponsoring this hijacking, as well as carrying out the bombings of Pan Am Flight 103 in 1988, so a couple of years later, and UTA Flight 772 in 1989. In August of 2003, they accepted responsibility for the actions of its officials for the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103, but was silent on this particular hijacking, Flight 73. And so in June of 2004, a volunteer group of families and victims of the incident formed to work towards a memorial for those killed in the incident, to seek the truth behind this terrorist attack and to hold those responsible. On April 5th, 2006, a law firm, Crowell and Mooring, LLP, representing the surviving passengers, announced it was filing a civil suit in the US, seeking $10 billion in compensation from Libya. But I don't even really think anything's or much has come from that. So like I was saying before, I've read very contradictory numbers. Some sources say 20 people were killed, others say 50. I think it's probably 20. And the number of people on board was either 380 or 360. So most sources say 100 passengers were injured, which is pretty amazing given that there's shrapnel and bullets flying everywhere.
I mean, it's awful that anyone died, of course, but I thought that most of them were, when there's explosions and bullets fired on a plane in such a small space.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you and yeah, you would ideally 0 lives would be lost. But when you look at the numbers of, say, there's 360 on board and 20 people have died, it's incredible that because flight attendants and also just passengers were able to get the doors open, and everybody could get out. It's incredible. So for her bravery, the government of India posthumously awarded Neerja Banut the Ashoka Chakra Award. It's, as I was saying, India's highest gallantry award for bravery in the face of the enemy during peacetime. So that's what it's specifically for.
I don't think I'm going to win this one.
You don't reckon you could be brave in the face of enemy during peacetime?
Nah.
You don't need all the awards. You've got enough.
Yeah.
And I just think you need to believe in yourself.
I think, I just don't, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Hopefully we don't have to see.
Never say never.
She's the youngest recipient of this award and the first female recipient of the award.
Mate, what a freaking badass.
Yeah.
So cool.
And that's why people...
so sad.
It's so sad. And this is why people suggested the topic, because it was such a brave and amazing thing to do. And even though in accounts that have sort of happened in the last few years, you know, people... okay, so a movie came out in 2016 about... It's called Neerja, and it's about this attack. And it's quite specifically, obviously, about her life. And, yeah, some people who I think were working on the flight as well kind of criticised it as, like, she wasn't the only one who, like, did brave stuff. And it's a bit like, okay, nobody thought she was single-handedly doing it. But she lost her life.
Yeah.
She lost her life... trying to protect the passengers, which it seems she did. And I don't think that's a battle you want to...
Yeah, surely giving her credit's not taking credit away from anyone else.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think that's the better way to say it. So after her death, her family set up the Neerja Banut Trust with insurance money, and the trust presents 2 awards every year, one for a flight crew member worldwide who acts beyond the call of duty, and another, which is the Neerja Banut Award, to an Indian woman who, when faced with social injustice, bravely faced the situation and helped other women in similar social distress.
Oh, that's great. What a great legacy.
Yeah, great tribute to her.
A really nice tribute. In 2006, she and the other Pan Am Flight 73 flight attendants and Pan Am's flight director for Pakistan were awarded the Special Courage Award by the United States Department of Justice. And yeah, the film I just mentioned came out in 2016, a biographical thriller called Neerja. And maybe the most touching tribute to her life and sacrifice is that one of the children that she was protecting when she died grew up to be a pilot and credits his life to her.
Wow.
Which is really, really nice. So yeah, a little sorry, it was a dark story. But I don't know, when Luke and Garrett suggested it, it grabbed my attention because I wanted to tell more stories about badass women. I feel like we haven't really told many stories about women from India, people from India. So I thought that would be a kind of interesting story. And do I regret it a little bit? Maybe.
Why?
Maybe.
That was a fantastic story.
Yeah.
Just like in terms of, gripping.
Yeah. And I hadn't heard of the event at all. Obviously, it was long before I was born because I'm incredibly young. And so I didn't.
And she sounds like an amazing person.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, that is the story of Neerja Banut and Pan Am Flight 73.
That's a great report, Jess, and probably a good time to remind people that if you have an idea for a topic that you'd like us to do, anyone can submit them at any time at dogoonpod.com. There's a little tab for submit a topic, and you can even tell us why we should do it, because there's thousands of entries, but I'm not sure what caught your attention about it. But sometimes when we're scrolling through, people have said why we should do the topic.
Yeah. Do you know what it was? I searched in the hat for the phrase woman and just had a bit of a look through, because I was like, I want to tell some more women's stories, women of colour. Send us those. Absolutely.
Please do. dogoonpod.com. We'd love to hear those topics.
Yeah, wow. That was quite an incredible story.
Bit heavy.
Yeah, but I think it's, I mean, I think it's important for stories to be told.
Yeah.
I don't know if our podcast is necessarily always the best vehicle for those stories, but I think it's cool that I'm glad that I know about her.
Yeah.
I think it's cool it's cool for people like her to be remembered.
Absolutely.
Well, Bob, thanks so much for that great report. That brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show, where we get to thank a lot of our great supporters who keep this show running. It goes for about 30 to 40 minutes, to be precise. And so strap in and enjoy yourselves. Where we thank a bunch of our supporters. You can support us if you want to at patreon.com/dogoonpod or dogoonpod.com. And there's a bunch of different levels. You get different rewards for supporting the show. Like there's a Facebook group you can join, which we call the nicest corner of the internet. You get to help vote for topics. At the moment, Dave and I, our episodes are being put up to the vote. And
you can literally change what we do, because my topic recently was won by a single vote. My next one.
There you go.
So one person changed it all.
That's great.
And yeah, there's all sorts of other things as well. Bonus episodes. We do 3 bonus episodes per month. And a bunch of things, including if you're on the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe Memorial level, you get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question. This section actually has a little jingle that goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question. Ding.
He always remembers the ding. And on this section, if you give us a fact, a photo, or a question, a fact, a quote, or a question,
You could submit a photo. We could describe it to people. That'd be,
That'd be nice.
and you also get to give yourself a title. This week, as every week, I'll read out 4. This week, starting with Murray Somerville, does great artwork.
Oh, Murray's great.
sporadically
incredible artwork, and
show.
did the official Do Go On Christmas card.
Yes.
That's right.
Christmas.
It's got a lot of love and is still arriving to people.
Even if you're listening to this in 2025, it's still arriving.
It's funny because it arrived just for some people in December, and then other people, months into this year. But
it's always the way.
So good.
Unfortunately.
I love Murray's style. Murray's got the title of That 50s Ad Man. And Murray's asking a question, which is, when you're a kid, what's some food your mum or dad made that just can't be beat? And to this day, you still love? Murray looks like he answers the question. Want to hear Murray's
Love that.
answer?
Yeah,
Please?
Murray, tell us. What's the specialty?
We'll say for Sydney Scheinberg, fact, quote, or question. Give us always, if you ask a question, give us an answer. Murray says, growing up, my mum made an incredibly tasty rissole and gravy dish. My rissoles are usually dry or crumble. Mum's were always just perfect. Oh, that's lovely.
That's nice.
See you around like a rissole. One of the great sayings, I think. Yeah, well, I always loved my mum's trifle.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favourite dessert as a
My
kid.
dad did a trifle in any family gathering. He'd be bringing the trifle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And Dad made great pasties.
Ooh.
Big, long pasties, and they'd be cut up into 3 sections. And I'd always want one of those end pieces because you got the extra bit of pastry. As that sort of the scrunch of pastry at the end, sort of the fold over bit. Oh, so good.
Yum.
Yeah. I mean, Dad cooked the dinners at our place, and that was probably maybe my favourite in his repertoire, but he had a bunch of great ones.
That sounds yum.
Sounds so good. Mum's always been a very good cook, good scones. But one that I miss because I don't eat it anymore is like we called it like an Irish stew. It's a beef stew she used to make, and it was so good.
That sounds so good.
Sounds hearty.
Yeah, and it was like, it was good
stew.
in winter, and you'd have it the first night with like maybe some mashed potato, but then it was even better the second day, and we'd have it on like buttery toast, which doesn't necessarily sound like it. Was so
that sounds so
fucking
good.
good.
That does sound
And it
really
would
good.
have like big bits of potato and carrot, and it was all slow cooked, so it all just fell apart. Delicious.
That sounds awesome.
Dad is like very good at it's so dumb. He just like thickly slices potatoes and puts them on the barbecue, and we just call them Dad's chips, and they're always like a bit burnt, and I fucking love them. And if I'm there, he has to make like double because I'll eat all of them. Delicious. That's Dad's specialty. What about you, Dave?
I was also going to say my dad's barbecue potatoes.
Yes.
Which were always very well done, but very, very nice. Very, very well done in both senses. The other thing I remember from my dad is the nostalgia of if I ever had someone stay over at our house, like for a sleepover.
Ooh.
The next day, Dad would always...
Not that kind of sleepover.
No, more like your mates
The
come
V
around.
badge.
Yeah.
Firmly in place.
Firmly in place.
And at that stage, I didn't know it would be in place for many decades to come. But he would make pancakes in the morning.
Yeah.
And they would be not big pancakes, but pikelets, like
Oh.
small
Yum.
ones. So everyone would get, put 4 at a time. And it was cooked on like an electric stove that he plugged in. And that was its sole purpose.
Yeah.
Was cooking pikelets.
I love it.
So
That's
we never
great.
had a meal any other time cooked on there. So, and because I don't have access to that anymore, I can't make
You
them
can't
the same.
have it. It's so nice. We had family friends who I would stay over at their place a lot because the dad of that family and my dad grew up together, and the kids were all the same age. So I stayed over there all the time, and every morning Pat would make us pancakes, but they'd be like chocolate chip.
Oh.
And he'd make them in like, I'd get a J and they'd get an S. Like we'd get the letters of our names and stuff. We'd be like, ooh, it was the best.
I love that. Mum used to make a custard, just like just a hot bowl of custard for dessert occasionally.
Yeah.
And sprinkles in the letter of our first initial of our name. So you get the M, and you'd sort of eat around the sprinkles on the M and then eat the sprinkles
Isn't that
at the
cute?
end. Yeah, real cute.
It must be really nice as a parent when like your kids or even like your kids' friends and stuff are like looking forward to your specialty. Because I was like, are we having pancakes,
Yeah.
Pat? Are you making pancakes? I'm
Yeah,
just so excited.
There's a lot of times where I can remember to being ungrateful a bunch as well.
100%.
Like, oh, we're having that again?
Yeah, that
and
must
then thinking
crush
back to
them.
it now, you're like, I just spent ages making this, you little fuckhead.
Yeah, you gotta eat. You gotta
Can
eat,
you
you
imagine
turd.
they wouldn't say it, but that must have been in their head.
Surely. And your parents had 4 kids to feed and be
Yeah.
like, shut up and
I'd
eat it.
love
for
to go
fuck's
back
sake.
and just have a word to myself.
Yeah. You shut up.
Another one I always found fun. I loved it anyway, but it's just funny to think back. It was chili con carne, but without the chili or the carne. Because carne means meat, I think. Or-
See, you just had the con.
So it was basically just rice with a sort of a chili with the kidney beans and the sauce. But when I stopped eating meat, he'd take that out. So he'd be like, it's chili con carne without the chili
Sounds calm.
and without the carne. They'd all have the rest of the family have it with meat, but I'd have the...
Oh, that's nice.
Because, around that time, it was like, you can start making your own dinner. But some of the dishes, he could just easily take the meat or not put the meat in. Anyway, great question, Murray. Geez, that's taken me down a little place I like to call memory lane.
Oh.
Yeah, the memories and the nostalgia associated with that is really lovely. Good question.
Gary J. from the UK, aka Prisoner 24601. That'd be a reference maybe Dave gets. You want to Google that?
Is that a reference to The Simpsons / Les Mis?
Oh, are you guessing or you're confident of that? And Gary's also asking a question. Gary J writes, so, Grey's Anatomy, Season 7, Episode 18. The Flash, Season 3, Episode 17. Community, Season 3, Episode 10. Futurama, Season 4, Episode 8. Fringe, Season 2, Episode 20. Scrubs, I think, has he sent us a list?
So what? I zoned out because just quickly.
There's no introduction to this. It just goes straight into a list
I
of
thought I'd missed
episodes.
the bit where he
Will
said
there
what
be
these are.
information at the end, though?
Well, I don't know. It's Scrubs Season 6, Episode 6, Xena Warrior Princess Season 3, Episode 12. Feels like he was meant to send this to his girlfriend or something. Hey, here's some episodes we should watch. Buffy Season 6, Episode 7. What do all these have in common?
I reckon they're going to be named the same thing.
Oh, he's given the answer. So do you want to have a... It's not named the same thing?
They're
It's
directed...
a kind of, they're all genre episodes.
Okay.
Musical.
Musicals.
Yes.
Damn it!
Well done.
Dave. Fuck you.
Sorry.
And Gary's question is, when are you going to do a musical Do Go On episode?
Gary, I've broken into song too often for you to ask that. You know it would be terrible.
Yeah. He's just at the end doubted himself. Said, "Wait, is this a suggestion or a question?"
We missed our opportunity when we had an amazing singer, Michelle Brazier, on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, she'd be great to
Put it
listen
on
think
to.
Fast
we
and the
could
Furious,
do-
the musical.
We could do a musical, but we would just have to cast people as us.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be all right.
Yeah, I like it.
Michelle can sing. Even just people that we've had on before. Cameron James can sing.
All right, Cameron James can play... Oh, probably plays Dave.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's more in his wheelhouse.
Both pop punk boys growing up.
Yeah. Totally.
Great question, Gary J.
Come on, Gary.
And prisoner 24601, that is Jean Valjean in Les Mis. That's his prisoner number.
Oh, there you
Which
go.
is then referenced on The Simpsons when Principal Skinner is at the fair and he finds his old Vietnam helmet from when he was a prisoner of war, and it's prisoner 24601. And he says, he puts it on. That's my old helmet. And then he says, it's a small world, isn't it? And he says, it really, really is, whilst wearing the helmet. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff.
Next one comes from Logan Husky, who's got the title of executive producer and authenticity consultant on the Do Go On porn parody, Do Go On and On and On. And Logan's also asking a question, writing, hey guys, I'm a huge consumer of pop culture and love a great twist in my movies and TV shows. My question is, if you could have the knowledge of a particular plot twist removed from your memory so you could enjoy it all over again fresh, what would it be?
Oh,
I guess quick spoiler
I was
alert.
going to say, let's spoil 3 things.
Yeah, so I guess...
Could you repeat that for me, please? Sorry.
So, basically, if you could go back and remove a plot twist so you could enjoy a movie or whatever again, what would it be?
I was talking
Say
about
the
this the
title
other day.
first and then give people a chance to skip forward 30 seconds before you say what the
I
twist
guess you
is.
don't have to
We
say...
don't have to say what it
You have
is,
to say-
yeah.
say
Well,
what-
what the plot twist is.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good call.
Because it's not even necessarily... I guess I was talking about this recently, not necessarily just for plot twists, but also just shows I would like to watch for the first time again.
Yes, I'm totally with you.
I would love to watch Ted Lasso from... I would like to wipe that from my brain and just watch it again. Not that there's twists and stuff, but I just loved that show so much, and I can't ever have that feeling again.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah, joy is one that you'll never feel.
Yeah. And the other one for me, if I could wipe from my brain and watch again, would be The Good Place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was some good twists and turns in
Yeah.
that.
I would say for me it would be Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile.
Oh,
Which
yep.
is that the one you ruined for a lot of people? No, that was the train one.
That was the Murder on the Orient Express.
Which I watched recently.
We're going to go
I forgot
watch...
to tell you, I watched it.
Oh, you went and saw the new one?
No, I watched the old one.
With David Suchet? Or
No.
with Albert Finney?
Or the old one is in the one from like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The
With
Kenneth
Johnny
Branagh.
Depp. Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
That's the old
No,
one?
well, I didn't
Old
know
one
when it
compared
came
to
out.
the new, like
I didn't
compared
know
to
when it came
because the
out.
new one's Death on the Nile,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
Dave and I are going to go on a date and watch.
Is it out? Have we
It's
missed
out.
it?
Yeah, no, I think it's out now.
Oh, great, because it is that's my favourite David Suchet adaptation. Love that one, and I would love to not know
Yes,
Who?
That's good. Yeah, they're classic.
and what and
twists.
how.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice.
I can't think of any.
I'll
I'll tell you what Logan's written.
Yeah.
But Logan has gone into the twist, so maybe I'll try and avoid spoiling it.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
Terminator 2. Saying, by the time I first saw the movie on home video back in the day, it was already such a part of the cultural zeitgeist. So, would love to feel the shock of there was a certain moment in a corridor that he would love to see. I think it's the kind of spoiler that I haven't seen it. And
I also didn't know. It was spoiled well before I ever saw
yeah.
it.
Sixth Sense was spoiled. I've never seen it.
I've never seen
never
it.
need to.
Exactly the same.
Do you feel like there's no point? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna bother.
apparently that's the big. I mean, that's a big part of the movie, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like
It'll be incredibly obvious now that I know.
what about Shawshank Redemption? I saw that without knowing a big thing that happens late in the movie, and I saw that well after it came out, and that was great. I think I watched it at school, and the rest of the class seemed to already know it was coming. I'm so glad no one mentioned that, because I was like, whoa. How good is it to be alive? I was exhilarated.
Oh, and that's where that catchphrase started
Yes,
for
that
you.
must have been it. Thanks, Logan. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, I reckon, Shawshank Redemption. I remember that would be fun to enjoy that again for the first time. And finally, from the fact quotes and questions, Sophie Shooter, aka Group Mum, bracket. If you finish your homework and tidy your room, you can have a lollipop.
Thank you, Mum.
Close
Ooh.
bracket. There's Sophie Shooter, who helps run the the snack swap in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Sophie's got a fact, which is on the 15th of August 2021 at 8:32 a.m. UK time, it was 17 degrees Celsius in Addleston, Surrey. It was also 17 degrees Celsius in Margate, Kent, Melbourne, Toronto, and Billund in Denmark. I can only assume I was living a boring morning at work because I recently saw the screenshot I took of it to show people. That's right. I'm going for the extra title of Most Boring Fact 2022.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's fun. And it's fun that it's one looks like you've just discovered it by yourself.
What was the date? August
15.
Yeah, 17 degrees. I guess that's quite a lovely August day.
Yeah, we'll take that.
In Melbourne? That's pleasant.
But
I'm also sorry.
at that specific time as well, 8:32 UK time, it'd
Yeah.
be evening Melbourne time, wouldn't it?
That's a balmy
That's
winter
a
evening.
Nice spring evening. No, winter evening.
Winter,
isn't
it's
it?
August. End of winter.
Yeah,
Cool.
which also means in Surrey it was summer.
Yeah.
So but I guess different times of that morning as it's about to heat up or whatever.
No, that's
Thank
probably
you,
as hot as a summer day gets.
Thank you, Sophie, for that. I would call fun fact, but I don't have.
Well, it's a bit of fun.
Oh, thank goodness.
And it's nice as well that she saw that at the time and went, oh, that's a bit of fun. And then got to relive that when she found the screenshot and went, oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
I like
think
that.
so too. The next thing we like to do is thank a few of our great supporters who are on the shout out level or above. Bob, you normally come up with a bit of a game for this.
Yeah, I'm thinking what the award that's named after them, what is it for?
Great, fantastic. Do you mind if I thank a few people first?
I'd love that.
Our great supporters. I'd love to thank firstly from Greensboro in North Carolina in the United States, Brandy Broyhill.
Oh, that's a great name.
BB.
What about the... so we're saying the award?
Yeah,
Brandy
Brandy Broyhill
Broyhill-
Award for...
Oh,
The Brandy Broyhill Award for Basketball Dunkery.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
That's good. Have you
Is
ever dunked a basketball?
Not on a full
You're-
on a full size ring, but I've
Okay.
dunked lower rings.
On children's?
Nah,
children's
like
role-play
like sort of like big children's playgrounds.
Yeah.
There was one at our primary school that was screwed into a brick wall, but it was near a ramp, so you could climb up the ramp and then sort
Oh.
of jump over to it,
That's good.
which was pretty fun. And one of my friends, Matt, who listens to this show, he did that once, and the wall came down on top of him, and he broke his arm.
Oh my
No.
God.
I was going to say, it does sound very dangerous when you said it was screwed into a wall.
Yeah, it pulled the bricks down
Oh
on top
my
of him.
God.
Bit of fun. Thank you very much, Brandy Broyhill.
Brandy
I
Broyhill.
must say, there's should be a record for North Carolina being mentioned and no
Why,
follow-up fact.
Dave? We
That's
nearly
a
got away with
very good point, Brandy.
We nearly got away with it.
As Brandy would know, North Carolina, the fire trucks are blue. Apparently, someone messaged me a while ago, and I never really corrected, but it's only one small part of North Carolina
yeah, I'm
that's
sure
blue
it is.
fire engine. But still, tell me I'm wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
In North Carolina.
Did he say in all of North Carolina, every single fire truck in all of North Carolina? No. So
No.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
If you're in North Carolina, you have the chance to see a blue fire engine.
I've definitely said it in a way that implies that it... But anyway, so thank you very much, Brandy. I'd also love to thank from Claremont in Tasmania, Australia, Daniel Remington.
Oh, Daniel Remington Award for longest mustache hair.
Oh,
guys.
like one single
Single hair.
Get the Remington clippers onto it. Sort of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or don't, actually.
Don't actually.
No, don't.
It's a record-holding
It's the
mustache.
opposite of
What
that.
sort of, is there prize money with that award?
Yeah,
How much?
$1 million.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, but the record is like it's 3 meters long. So.
Yeah. And
It's
the
worth
award is actually a big brass hair.
It would actually be really hard to, especially if it's one long hair, to not accidentally clip it or or just fall out.
It's like-
Hairs just fall out.
Would like
That's
just
right.
trip over it if it's that long.
Exactly. Step on it, pull it out of your
Ow!
face. Ow! No!
Oh, my record.
So that's worth $1 million, I reckon.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And finally from me, from Los Angeles, La La Land, as I like to call it, in California, the United States, it's Margot K. The Margot K Award for
drinking the most milk.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
could be up for that, I reckon.
You know what you get when you drink milk? Milk mustache.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Fuck, okay, I'm so sorry.
Margot, honestly,
First thing that popped in my head was milk.
and
All the way with Margot Kay.
are we thinking that Margot Kay was the first person to drink this much milk and that's why it's named after them? Or did they sponsor the award?
Oh, yeah, it's a sponsored award.
So it's like Margot's Cafe has the milk drinking competition or something.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much, Margot, for your support. Jess, you want to thank a few people?
I would love to. I would love to thank from Plainfield in New Hampshire, I'm guessing. NH.
Yeah, I reckon.
North Haverbrook.
I would love,
Should have put it on the map.
I'd love to thank Dan Dry.
Dan Dry.
Dan Dry.
The commemorative medal for longest
Socks.
socks. Wow. Wow. The commemorative medal for longest
How long
socks.
are these
It's a
socks?
knitting award.
Yeah.
It's a knit off, so the socks have got to be knitted in an allotted amount of time on stage at Dan Dry's
Okay.
barn and restaurant.
Barn and restaurant.
Barn and restaurant.
And then you get a
I know
commemorative.
it'd come over. Yeah, you get them. Yeah, you get the Dan Dry commemorative medal if you've knitted the longest sock.
Wow.
In 18 seconds.
18 cents all you got.
Yeah, speed knitting. They're speed knitting.
Yeah.
Because at first you think, wow, how the sock's going to be super long. And then you're like, these couldn't even fit a baby.
Yeah.
Because at one point, like, long socks become pants or like long johns. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, socks can't go on forever if you're
No.
wearing them because you have other parts of your body.
Unless you got to just scrunch them all the way down, but it's scrunched all the way up to your crotch.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all scrunched.
Full
so it's just
scrunch.
pants.
Yeah.
But then your
Pull
dick
up those
is out.
socks, young man. I can't pull them up any further.
But then, yeah, because then you've got to wear something else to cover your bits.
Another sock. Long sock in some people's cases.
Red Hot Chili Pepper style.
Thank you, Dan. I would also love to thank another one from Claremont in Tasmania.
Bloody
I
hell.
wonder if you know each other, and if you don't, hello, new best friend, Jessica Reynolds.
Jessica Reynolds. The Jessica Reynolds Trophy for highest hat. My brain didn't let me down this time.
Now, is that tallest hat or the hat is highest? So someone wore it like on a space shuttle or something.
They get back from this space exploration and their proudest achievement is just won the highest hat. Just won the Jessica Reynolds.
Remember, I have a memory of Googling for a previous Patreon shout out the tallest hat in the world. And it's a man who has made a 4.8 meter or 15'9" hat.
Oh, was that a Patreon bonus episode where it was I feel like
That
it might
is
have been
fake. That's familiar.
a Who Knew It with Matt Stewart episode where it was a world record for tallest hat.
Yeah, maybe.
No ideas are new ideas anymore.
That's really funny. Let's
And
see if we can do better next time.
This is a quote from GuinnessWorldRecords.com from Odilon Ozair, who made the hat. 40-year-old man. Hats have always been used to enhance the greatness of the wearer. The taller the hat, the greater the wearer. Who is the greatest American? Abraham Lincoln. Why? In part because of his top hat.
Yeah,
Can't argue with that.
can't argue with that. The hat it's notable.
And
that is a high hat.
but move over, Odilon. We've got the Jessica Reynolds
Yeah.
Award for highest hat.
Thank you, Jessica Reynolds. And
Not to be confused with the Jessica Reynolds Award for high hats, which is a drumming award.
finally, for me, I would love to thank from Nuremberg in Germany, Anna and Lucas Spath.
Anna and Lucas Spath.
The Anna and Lucas Spath Award for bravery in the face of no obstacle.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Just brave for the
Just
sake
brave.
of it.
Just brave. Just walk. Just, just doing brave shit. And brave's subjective too, so it's really anyone's game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. I mean, Anna and Lucas, all the way in Germany, thank you so much for listening. Two very brave people, I hear.
Dave.
Well, no, their award. They appreciate brave people.
Yeah, they are cowards.
Oh,
But
yeah.
That's why they give out this award, because they admire it in others.
Yeah. Dave, bring it home. Bring us some new, thank some people, would you?
I would love to thank some new people. And I'm looking up where we are. Here we go. Sorry, I've lost my tab. I would like to thank from East York in Ontario, Canada. It is Sheila Donaldson Hartz.
Oh, it's so close to hats.
Sheila Donaldson Hartz.
Sheila Donaldson Hart, the award for happiest dog.
Oh.
How do you measure this?
Well,
Tail wag.
Sheila's in charge.
Oh, yeah, right. There's
They-
probably got some sort of algorithm.
Yeah.
Maybe you put
tail
them
wag's
on
a big indicator.
on a scale.
Yeah. Smile.
Yeah.
It's a blood test.
Yeah, blood test shows how happy they are.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Well,
easy.
I forget the science.
Do this cat scan.
Yeah.
Bunsen-
Sorry, dog scan.
Bunsen burner.
Look at its brain. Go, there's a happy dog.
Yeah,
Look.
unfortunately, you only know after they die.
Yeah. But it's a bit of a consolation for a grieving family that their dog was very happy.
Sheila's killing dogs
To find out how happy they are.
and it keeps opening up the brains going, no, this one was also scared and yeah, it seems to be begging for its
I
life.
guess most recent feeling was fear.
Oh my god. That was the most wholesome one, but became the darkest one. Sheila, thanks so much. I'd like to thank from Beecroft in New South Wales. It is Maddie Bowalick.
Maddie Bowalick.
Great name, Maddie.
That's really good. I'm at the Maddie Bowalick Award for heaviest cow.
Oh, yeah. And can you put things on the cow to increase its... or do they have to be in the cow?
I would don't put stuff on or in your cow.
Okay.
Just feed your cow.
Okay.
Overfeed your cow.
Overfeed your
So
cow.
it's
Don't
in
be
pain.
cruel to the cow. Overfeed your
Don't
cow.
put like a weight on your cow, you
Okay,
psycho. Just
yeah.
overfeed it so it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Hey, thanks so much, Maddie. And finally, from Olympia in Washington in the United States, it is Catherine Conrad.
It's a great name, Catherine Conrad.
Conrad. Yeah,
Love
that sounds like... it would start like this. Let's do one where we all say a word in it. The Catherine Conrad Award for Excellence in...
Diving and...
snooker.
That's great. The big two. Big two.
They go hand in hand often, diving and snooker.
I'm not good at things.
You were thinking pool.
Maybe. Who knows?
Thank you so much to Catherine, Maddie, Sheila, Anna and Lucas, Jessica, Dan, Margot, Daniel and Brandy.
I'm showing Matt and Jess a photo I found on Google Images of divers playing snooker underwater.
Yeah, well, they're all vying for the Catherine Conrad Award for Excellence.
And this, I've taken this from the Guinness World Records page again. The longest marathon snooker underwater relay was
What?
24 hours exactly
Wow.
in Germany in 2011.
How are those balls staying down? I guess they're heavy, aren't they? Never mind. Answered my own question. I didn't need you science boffins over there.
Balls drop because of the weight, Jess. All right, so the last thing we like to do is bring some people into...
Not in water. Anyway.
Buoyant balls.
Do they float in water? Your balls?
You goddamn right they do.
Huh.
Yeah, save me from a few dicey situations. Oop.
That was a genuine question I didn't have to ask yet. I'm sorry.
So the last thing we like to do is welcome some people into our Triptych Club. This is our club where people who have been supporting on the shout-out level or above for 3 straight years get welcomed in. It's just the one inductee this week.
Wow.
The way this normally works is I'm standing at the door. I've got the door list. Only one name on it. I'm about to lift the velvet rope, welcome them in. Dave's on stage hyping up the crowd. All the previous inductees are there chanting along with you, cheering along. Dave's also booked a band for the after party. Dave, who you got this
you're
week?
never gonna. We've actually got someone you mentioned at the top of the episode, Ravi Shankar.
Wow, fantastic.
Wow.
Looking forward to hearing the stylings of Ravi. And Bob, you normally come up with a cocktail based on the topic?
Yes. And the cocktail is called the Ravi.
Ravi Shanky.
Yeah.
Oh wow, is that just bottomless
Ravi
mimosas?
Shanky.
Yes.
Ravi Shanky. That's a weird riff on his name, but
It's a ravi shanky
Yeah.
so that he can't sue us.
Okay.
And yeah, it's delicious.
Is there any salmon and cucumber, aka rocket launchers?
No. The Triptych Club is a safe place.
Thank goodness.
There will be no need to alert anybody via secret codes.
So I'm about to say a name. I'm going to welcome them in. Dave's going to hype them up. He's the hype man. He's on the stage.
Yep.
He does it with sort of really weak puns, but we all support him anyway. And then Jess sort of just boosts him up from the work that he's done as well, which is I think Jess does the hardest job here, trying to be positive about what Dave does. But we'll bring him in.
Unbelievable. Every time he tries, it's just a pile of steaming dog
I was
shit.
going to say, I didn't get to the end of the episode yet from last week, but did he just absolutely suck last week?
No, I did them.
Oh, okay, that'd have been fine.
And he tried to be me, and he did okay at being me.
Okay.
But I couldn't hold a flame to you.
I don't know what you two are talking about, but we got to get on with the Triptych inductee. I'm about to read out a name,
Let's
Dave.
talk
Are you
about
ready?
this over lunch without him later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So our one inductee this week is from McKinney in Texas in the United States. It's Alicia Lish Moore.
You know what? I thought I'd had enough. I closed the club. I said, we've got enough.
Yeah.
But then I saw Lish and I said, more!
Yes!
More!
We need you, Lish. Come on in.
Yes.
Fucking hell. And
more
Matt,
like McWhinney instead of McKinney.
oh my God,
That was the
that's good
backup.
too. That's good too.
Sounds delish.
Shut up, Matt.
So welcome in, Alicia.
Honestly.
Lish Moore. So good to have you in. Make yourselves at home, everyone. And that brings us to the end of the episode. Jess, anything we need to say before we wrap up?
Just that we love you. And if you want to suggest a topic, there's a link in the show notes. It's also on our website, dogoonpod.com. So, yeah, like we said before, if there's stories that, maybe aren't super well known or you think other people would like to hear about, let us know. We love to hear them. And also buy tickets to our comedy festival show.
Yeah, you
Come
can do
along.
that also at dogoonpod.com.
Yeah.
Come along, see us do the quiz show on Mondays, but also please come to the live podcast on Sunday.
They're
night.
always so much fun. We have such a good time at them. We might have some special guests this year. But yeah, they're a lot of fun in the room. So you'll want to be there. Trust me.
That's right. I'll high five one person each week. That could be you.
And then, but David is still, COVID time. So I will need you to sanitize after that.
Yeah, okay, no worries. I'll just high five Jess.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week. Until then, laters.
Bye.
Goodbye.